Hello, everyone. Everybody is doing well today. So, today we are going to be talking about why most weight loss diets fail or why diets fail in the first place. If you have any questions as I'm going through this topic, feel free to comment in the comment section and I will do my best to answer your questions. I'm sure most of us probably know somebody who has tried to go on a diet. Maybe you have also tried to go on diets. And, most of the time they don't work, right? Maybe they work in the meantime. You lose some weight, you're feeling really good, and then you go back to your typical routine diet lifestyle, and then you start to slowly gain that weight back. And then it didn't work, and now you feel bad, you feel discouraged, you feel powerless, like maybe you can't lose the weight, maybe there's something wrong with what you're doing. And oftentimes this is not the case. It's not you, it's the system, it's what the media tells us, it's what we think that we need to be doing. And really it can just be detrimental to our mental health and to our physical health in the long term. So I really just want to get into this and talk about, I have 5 things here that I came up with. I'm sure there are more reasons why diets don't work. And if you have any other thoughts on this, go ahead and comment down below too on what you think could be a reason for why diets fail. I would definitely like to hear about it. So number 1 is the diet is based on a short-term fix. So if you are dieting to lose weight really quickly and then plan on going back to your old habits, this can really set you up for failure because, maybe you are like, okay, in 3 months, I want to lose this amount of weight. And then once I lose the weight, I can just go back to how I'm eating. This short-term diet, yes, it may work. You may lose the weight. But then if you stop whatever you're doing and go back to what you were doing before, which is most likely going to happen because the diet is really restrictive and it's usually, it just sucks, right? Nobody wants to keep dieting and dieting and dieting their whole life because it's so restrictive. So if you go back to your old patterns, then you're going back to something that made you gain the weight in the first place, right? So then maybe you see yourself slowly gaining that weight back, and then you're back to where you started, or maybe even worse, maybe you gained even more weight. And so that's what's wrong with these short-term diets, is that it only works temporarily, and you're not focusing on the long-term lifestyle. So what you should do instead, or what you can start doing instead, is thinking about, what you can stick to for the long term and make it a lifestyle change rather than this short term thing that you're doing. So that's number 1. And then number 2 is the diet is focused on calorie restriction. And so, yes, when you cut calories, you will lose weight. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't consider calories in, calories out. I think it's part of it. But when you're only focused on the calorie restriction, it first off is really mentally taxing. You have to count your calories. You're trying to weigh all your food. You're hyper focused on them. And that's exhausting. It's not fun. Nobody wants to do that for the long term. And it also really messes up your metabolism. So if you are only focusing on calories and you're cutting a significant amount for a short-term fix, right? We're going back to that short-term diet, then you are going to drop the weight, but it's also going to mess up your metabolism, because when your caloric intake goes down, your metabolism also slows down. They are dependent on each other. They're not independent. When one goes up, the other one goes up. When one goes down, the other one goes down. So if you're cutting calories, then your metabolism will slow down, and that will make it hard to lose weight in the future and can result in a plateau. And so this does make sense for survival purposes, right? If we just continued, if our body didn't respond this way, we would just continue to lose weight and lose weight until we withered away, which is not what our body wants. Our body wants to survive. It doesn't want to starve. So it's going to adapt to whatever calorie intake we are taking in. And it makes sense. So focusing on calories alone is maybe okay for the short term, but for the long term, it's really not efficient and really not sustainable over time. So what you should do instead is focus on quality food, nutrient dense food, so that you're fueling your body with what you need, and then you can lose weight naturally by getting healthy, by getting metabolically healthy. And, in another video, I will definitely be talking about metabolic health and nutrient dense foods and what to look for there. But we won't address that at this time. So number 3 is that you have unrealistic expectations. So when you expect to, lose a certain amount of weight or to see results really, really fast, and then you don't see that happen, it's really discouraging, right? Like, you don't feel good. You're like, okay, I thought that, I was going to lose weight quickly. All the, the media tells me that I was going to lose, 30 pounds in 2 months, or this workout program said I was going to lose this amount in this amount of time. And, if you're doing some kind of program where it says you will, you'll lose weight, you'll lose 20 pounds in 2 months, I would steer clear of that program, because they can't guarantee that. Everybody's body is different, and it's hard to know how your body will respond or how healthy or unhealthy you are. It all depends on what's going on underneath, not just what's on the outside, not just what the numbers are saying on the scale. And so when you have these unrealistic expectations and they don't happen, that could be discouraging, and then you feel bad about yourself and you just want to give up. So having more of an open mind, yes, it's important to stick to your goals and have a goal in mind, but to not attach to the outcome, because you can't control the outcome. You can control what you're doing right now, right at this moment, for your health and for your weight, but you can't control what your outcome is going to be. And so if you can just detach from that and instead just focus on, okay, this is my goal, this is what I want to do, but it's okay if I don't 100% complete that goal. It's okay if the progress is slower. Then you're setting yourself up for success, and you're not going to have that constant letdown, that constant discouragement, and then feeling like you're doing something wrong. Okay, so then number 4 is not addressing your mindset or your habits and how they are keeping you stuck. So this is such a big one. Maybe you go on that short-term diet, but you haven't, addressed, what habits you were doing beforehand that led you to gain weight or to not be as healthy as you want to be. And, also with the short-term diet, issues with that is it's usually really restrictive, and you're trying to do all of these different things at once. You're trying to exercise 5 times a week. You're trying to eat healthy at every meal. You're, changing your nutrition completely. You're calorie restricting. You're trying to do all the things. And it's not sustainable when you do it that way, because it's overwhelming. It's just too much to keep up with, and you might not be ready for that. And so that doesn't encourage habit change. That just pushes you to try and do everything at once, and then you feel overwhelmed and then want to quit. So when you can address your habits and take one small step at a time that you can stick with for a long time and get consistent with, then you're creating habits. Then you're creating this automatic routine that you can sustain and keep up with for the long term. So that's something that's just really important to understand. When if you think about like brushing your teeth, driving the car, going to work, going to bed at a certain time, or doing these certain routines, we've created habits and we don't have to think about these things. So when you can bring in exercise, bring in nutrition, and it just becomes a habit, just something that you do because that's what you do and that's what the lifestyle that you created, then it becomes so much easier and you don't feel like you're trying to force yourself to do these things. But that takes time, and that needs to happen when you are ready for it and when you take small steps towards creating those habits. Okay. And then mindset is another one as well. So that goes with your habits and mindset. When your mind is stuck in I just need to lose weight quickly, then you're going to not create a lifestyle, right? You're not thinking about your health. You're not thinking about something that you can stick to forever. So addressing your mindset and then working through, obstacles that come along and understanding like what your obstacles are can also really help with weight loss. Okay, so number 5 is you have an all or nothing mentality. So this goes back to that short-term fix, that short-term diet plan. You think you have to do all of the things, otherwise you're not going to see results. And even if you're not doing a diet, even if you do start with, having a healthier lifestyle and you still have this all or nothing mentality, you're going to find yourself thinking that you need to follow everything strictly all the time. And then when you don't, you're going to think that, oh, I screwed up. Now my diet's ruined. I'm a failure. And then you start feeling bad about yourself. So when you have this all or nothing mentality, that can really get you stuck and not moving forward when you make mistakes, according to you. And so having that balance of, yes, you can still have the chocolate. Yes, you can still have the wine. Yes, you can still have the cookies and the pizza. Maybe you can't have it all the time, right, for your health and your goals, but you can still have it. You don't need to tell yourself, okay, I'm quitting for 3 months. I'm going hardcore. I'm not eating any of this stuff, and then I'll lose weight. And then once that's over, you're just going to be like wanting to binge on all that food because you've been missing out on it for so long, right? So the all or nothing mentality, try to not have that mentality. Try to be more open-minded, have that growth mindset where you're willing to grow and learn from your experiences and willing to give yourself some grace along the way during this journey that you're on. It's all about having balance and creating that in your life so that you can have fun, so that you can also get healthy, get the body that you want, and have the life that you want. You don't have to torture yourself for the short term to get to your goals. You can enjoy your life still, and that is what is just so important for when you're trying to lose weight or trying to get healthy or whatever goal it is just having that flexibility in what you're doing. Okay, so let me just recap here. We have, so number 1, you are basing your diet on a short-term fix. Number 2 is you're focused on calorie restriction only. You're not thinking about, creating a lifestyle or your quality of food. All right, so number 3 is unrealistic expectations. So you have this thought that, you need to lose a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time, and then when you don't, you feel discouraged. And then number 4 is you haven't addressed your mindset or your habits. And then number 5 is all or nothing mentality. So those are the 5 reasons why most diets fail. And I hope that I provided some, good solutions to these instead, some things that you can think about and consider the next time you're trying to change your lifestyle. And so, I just want to let you know too, if you are interested in having one-on-one help, one-on-one guidance for your weight loss goals and getting help with that, like that is what I help my clients with. And we do this by, getting you metabolically healthy. So we focus on your hormones, we focus on your metabolism, we focus on nutrient-dense food, and we look at your whole lifestyle and we make an individualized program for you that you can stick with and be consistent with for the long term. So if this is something that interests you, you can schedule a free discovery call with me, and we can really get into, how I can specifically help you. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great Wednesday and a great St. Patty's Day. All right, I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.